So that was tailoring, which the law that had been passed through this committee required. I don't see that there has been any evidence that that was a bad idea, but it's one that could certainly be looked at again.
Okay, so you'd be willing to at least look at that
Yes.
one again. Okay, this cut by 15%. Chair Powell, the elephant in the room is whether you're going to be renominated for a second term as Fed chair. Renominating you means gambling that for the next 5 years, a Republican majority at the Federal Reserve with a Republican chair who has regularly voted to deregulate Wall Street won't drive this economy over a financial cliff again. And with so many qualified candidates for this job, I just don't think that's a risk worth taking. I know that some argue that your deregulatory actions are mostly harmless. I disagree. I think they've put taxpayers at risk for hundreds of billions of dollars. But even at that, so far you've been lucky. But the 2008 crash shows what happens when the luck runs out. The seeds of the 2008 crash were planted years in advance by major regulators like the Federal Reserve that refused to rein in big banks. I came to Washington after the 2008 crash to make sure that nothing like that would ever happen again. Your record gives me grave concern. Over and over, you have acted to make our banking system less safe, and that makes you a dangerous man to head up the Fed, and it's why I will oppose your renomination. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Welcome to Africa at the United Nations. Back in 2017, when I made my first appearance at the General Assembly as the newly elected president of Ghana, I said neither Ghana nor Africa wanted to be scars on anybody's conscience. I said we want to build economies that are not dependent on charity and handouts, because long and bitter experiences have taught us that no matter how generous the charity, we would remain poor. 1 year on, although infection rates and deaths are relatively lower in the region, the virus's impact on economies and livelihoods has been damaging. The pandemic has also shown us that the great advances in science and technology notwithstanding, we still have a lot to learn and discover about the human body and about life. Thus far, in spite of the grisly predictions of dead bodies littering the streets of Africa, and in spite of not having as much access to vaccine as the developed world, Africa seems mercifully to have escaped the worst of the COVID death rates. And for that, we thank God. One unfortunate development appears to be the recent measures on entry into some countries in Europe, which suggest that Covishield, the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine manufactured in India, is not recognized by these countries. What is intriguing is the fact that this vaccine was donated to African countries through the COVAX facility. The use of vaccines as a tool for immigration control will be a truly retrogressive step. Even before the pandemic outbreak, many had concluded that the current structure of global economic cooperation, designed some 77 years ago, has proven inadequate to finance infrastructure and economic transformation in developing countries. Given the incapacity of the global financial system to produce the necessary outcomes to find sustainable development, we need provides a great chance to rethink global economic cooperation based on the principles of mutuality, equity, sustainability, and collective prosperity envisaged by the SDGs. There is no question but that if the famous gathering in San Francisco was to take place today, it would be a significantly different United Nations charter that would be written. In much the same way, a World Bank or IMF or WHO that is born today would be radically different institutions from those that were set up after the World War. As many of the countries in today's world, especially in Africa and the Caribbean, were not present in San Francisco. African governments have already spent scarce reserves fighting the pandemic and providing social protection to millions of affected households. Ghana has been advocating that innovative financing must also address structural challenges beyond responding to immediate fiscal needs by providing mechanisms to facilitate investments in health infrastructure, technology, the environment, and people that would bolster resilience and equitable recovery. The IMF's unprecedented $650 billion United States SDR allocation offers a unique opportunity to provide additional financial resources to address the vast uncertainties revealed and a crisis to come. Africa's allocation is some 33 billion United States dollars. But there was a time for the African Marshall Plan. It is now. The SDR infusion should be seized upon as a catalytic effort to leapfrog Africa to the next level of human development and ensure sustained global prosperity. African leaders have advocated for a prudent and transparent channeling of 25 to 35% of SDRs, that is 160 to 230 billion dollars, from wealthier to vulnerable countries, $100 billion of which should be dedicated to Africa. We welcome the support of the European countries represented at the Africa Summit in France, the IMF, the G7 and G20 to some SDR redistribution. Mr. President, proceeds of channeled SDRs should fund vaccine acquisition and manufacturing, climate and green investments, and a Pan-African stability mechanism, like the European Stability Mechanism, that will safeguard financial stability on the continent. A part of the redistribution should also help fund the recapitalization of the African Development Bank and Afri-Exim Bank to support industrialization, private sector job creation, and the African Continental Free Trade Initiative. Third,
There is a global conspiracy by opioid killers and healthcare giants to get you sick, keep you sick, and charge you money. Does that sound like a terrifying headline? Of course it does. It's meant to grab your attention. The problem is, it's true. The very PR agents involved in the opioid crisis in helping Pardue, the company that was primarily behind the opioid crisis, get out of trouble, are now involved in getting the healthcare system in the United Kingdom, the National Health Service, into the hands of United Healthcare Group, an American insurance company. So what's happening in America with your healthcare, with you being overcharged for your healthcare, will soon be happening here in the United Kingdom. If you're a British citizen
then you should be terrified. If you're an American citizen, you should be furious. Dr. Bob Gill, a regular old family doctor, here talks to us about how this plan, how this conspiracy has unfolded, the way that the government colluded with private giants, the way that the media lied to people to ensure that the NHS, a treasure of the British people, could be taken from them and given to profiteering, in the case of crisis, very irresponsible people that you might be able to term killers if you think that doing something that leads to someone to die makes you a killer. This conversation originally took place on my podcast, Under the Skin, available from Lumina. If you want to hear the whole conversation, and especially if you've got Apple, you can get it anywhere in the world. There's a subscription fee, but there's also a meditation podcast on the same platform, not to mention Dave Chappelle. Give it a listen. Stay to the end of this video. More questions for you, more things I need you to understand, and more things I want to hear from you.
It was actually one of the conversations I had with a local GP leader who I described what was happening to my patients. And he said three things to me. He said, "You're too sensitive. Your patients are unlucky. And don't worry, you're not paying for any of this."
Oh, wow.
Now, I thought if that is the response to people in positions of power and responsibility to protect public health provision, then, clearly they're selecting the wrong people for the job.
No.
And I need to do something. So that's when I set about, trying to get involved in campaign groups, learning about what's going on, learning about health economics, learning about policy, and discovering that this hadn't started in 2012 when the health and social, because that was a major progression of the privatization. This had started decades before. And in fact, it dates back 1988, I would say, was the key date. It's when Oliver Letwin MP and John Redwood MP were commissioned to write a piece on exactly how you repurpose a public service to an American-style insurance system without people noticing. So it was a revelation to me, how far this process had gone.
That written? Sorry to interrupt you. Is that written down somewhere? Is that something you can see, like how we can turn the NHS into an American-style health insurance system without anyone noticing? Is there a sort of a paper trail for that?
Absolutely. So his document, published by the Center for Policy Studies, is on the net. I can send you a link to it. And it summarized the key steps. There were 5 steps. Step 1, establish the NHS as an independent trust. Well, that's what the 2012 Act did. It separated the Department of Health out to a new quango called NHS England, which essentially is a privatization board stuffed with people from the private sector who've gone through the revolving door and now wear an NHS badge, busily trashing the NHS.
I'm very pleased with.
Increased joint ventures between the NHS and the private sector. I'll give you one example, Private Finance Initiative, where the public went to private banks and financiers and said, lend us some money, we want to build a new hospital. Now, there was never a need to do that. There is a magic money tree. The government discovered it when it gave out the test and trace contracts that I mentioned earlier. We could have funded this through public borrowing, but they chose to get into bed with the private sector and have saddled the NHS with a massive financial millstone. I'll give you the figures. We've borrowed 11 billion. You know how much we're going to pay back? 88 billion. At the end of which we won't own the hospitals. This is a financial scam on a monumental level. So that's one example of public-private partnerships. Step 3, extend the principle of charging. Now we've set up a whole charging system for immigrants and health tourists to claim back money which wouldn't even cover the administrative cost. So why has the government introduced an expensive system of charging, setting fees, collecting the money, if the amount you collect wouldn't even cover the admin cost, because they want to extend it to everybody? Step 4, a system of health credits. This is called at the moment personal health budgets. It's a mechanism which they'll be using to keep the most expensive patients away from going to private insurance at the moment because they'll get rejected. But what the NHS will become is a
You know what? I should
tax-funded budget for you, which becomes transferable. Transferable to a private insurance company to make up for those services that the NHS no longer provides. Because that's part of the strategy, to chip away at the universality and comprehensiveness of the NHS. Interestingly, the company that is drawing up the services to cut is that company I mentioned earlier, McKinsey, the advisors to Purdue Pharma, who were paying out a fine now of $600 million to settle without admitting any liability. So that's 4 steps. Step 5, a national insurance scheme. So every individual in this country will have, let's say, a budget of £2,000 to £3,000 attached to their name, which is it's the equivalent of Medicare and Medicaid. Public funding to provide basic level of health care, which you can top up if you can afford to. So the 5 steps are there. And what the current bill does, it puts into law what has been already going on for over a decade, because these companies aren't going to arrive sometime in the future. They're already embedded within the NHS. There was something in 2006 called world-class commissioning, where United Health, the big 4 accountancy firms, McKinsey,
most news is continue chilling with mommy.
See, what I don't understand is like, if they held elections at all these schools, and it so happens that children in school are the ones who are like have the highest number of outbreaks right now, why didn't they wait the 14 days before they sent kids into those schools? Because doesn't it take 14 days for the virus to dissipate? Like, even if you like sanitize shit, or like you have like a air conditioning or like air purifier, like, isn't the disease still in the air and like on surfaces and shit? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. And it's just like, your solution is to just like go ahead and start vaccinating children from 5 to 11. Like, I don't understand why the immediate solution wasn't stop sending your kids to school. Some of you at least. And like, crazy idea. The homeschooling thing was working just fine at some point, right?
Yeah, but janitors or lost their jobs.
They're like, kids don't understand social cues. It's been a year that they've been out of school dying. Like, they're like, oh yeah, I miss school. And it's just like, no, you fucking don't. Okay? You think you miss school. You don't. Like, God forbid fucking parents teach their children themselves. Oh, well,
sitting at a desk all day.
We have busy lives already.
For 8 hours a day.
Oh, and then they don't understand fucking social cues, and they get like fucking weird mental illnesses and shit. I was like, that's bullshit. That's fucking total bullshit. Like, it's way worse that parents fucking literally 5 a.m. dump their kid off at daycares. And they pick them up at 7 o'clock at night. They never fucking see their kid. Or they pawn them off on a nanny and shit. Like, or grandparents, babysitter. Just, they never spend time with. Gotta fucking be able to go on vacation. Post all over the place.
People strange when you're a stranger.
I was
Losing a kid when you're alone.
My sister's a piece of shit. You guys are great. That was annoying. Still enjoy going there. Spending time there. We used to always find stuff to do, even when we didn't have money. Or she'd make everything a learning thing. Oh, but to fucking be like, you can't homeschool your kid? Like, I always said she would have homeschooled me if she could have. And she couldn't even get through grade 4 math. Long division. What?
Long division.
Well, this is the dystopian reality I was fearing. Hello, nice to see all of you.
So our first question is going to come from Lauren Zima from Entertainment Tonight.
Lauren.
John, so many congrats. I mean, you're double fisting Emmys right there.
I am. Sadly, I do not have the arm strength to get any reps in here that will do me any good. These are going to get lower and lower, and my shoulders will sag, and then this needs to end.
Well, I mean, we love you. We love your show, and this is so deserving. But also, you know, you gave a shout out to Conan. And I don't know if you could see from stage, but someone did kind of pass him an Emmy, and Conan looked quite sad. And I'm wondering if you knew that and if you will be handing him any of your Emmys.
Conan? No, he can take them from my cold dead hand. I realized I said that I appreciated him, not that much. Yes, it's. What he's done is absolutely remarkable. It's hard to overstate the influence that he has had on comedy writers. There's a whole generation of comedy writers who come to Conan to see their sense of humor on TV for the first time. So he's a monumentally influential figure to lots of us.
But no sharing. I got it. Okay.
But no
Thank
sharing.
you.
No.
Thank you, Lauren.
Thank you. Congrats.
All right. Next up, we have a question from Michael Maloney, TV Insider.
Hey, Michael.
Hi, John. Congratulations to you and the whole team. Can you talk about the shout to Adam Driver and the role he played? Was he in the show that was submitted?
I mean, even if he wasn't, most of last year, even if we didn't mention his name, his presence was felt throughout our scripts. So I don't know if he was. It's just we noticed Adam Driver last year. I don't know if you noticed us noticing him, but yeah. I mean, we had said that we wouldn't do the joke again. I mean, we have done it again. But you know, if he's mad about it, that's really what we're looking for.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. We're holding for one more question. It was 1 second. Okay, so now we have Liz from CTV eTalk that's going to give our final question. In just 1 second, we're connecting her.
Of course.
Hello?
Hey, Liz, you there?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yeah. Yes, and I can see you now.
Amazing.
Hey.
Oh, man, I'm so excited to talk to you because this show kept my husband and I company throughout the pandemic. So just thank you to all of you who work so hard for this show. It just means so much. But be honest, how many jokes did you write for the show working from home in your underwear? And how does it feel to win an Emmy for it?
It's not just writing the show. You don't see me below the waist for a reason. So yes, I have been naked from the waist down for the last 18 months, and I resent the fact that has to stop now. But yeah, it's been very, very weird. Like we have not been together, and I don't know when we will next be together in a large group. Hopefully it's soon, but it's been great to see people that I haven't seen since last March.
I bet the hugs feel good. And you know what? Just so everybody knows, you guys had to put pants on today. All of us press, we have sweatpants and maybe just our underpants. You never know what's underneath here.
I really appreciate that you enjoyed it. It was hard to tell, but with having absolutely no audience, I was recording the show from a basement on my own. You know that Robert De Niro film, King of Comedy, where he's making a TV show alone and having a nervous breakdown? It felt a little too close to that for comfort sometimes.
Yeah, and I can totally relate as a TV host. We were doing the same thing. So I give you and your team so much credit.
Thank you.
You nailed it, and you totally deserve these awards.
Thanks so much. That's very kind.
Thank you, Liz, and thank you, everyone.
Thank
All right, that's
Thanks,
it.
guys. Thanks. See you later. Bye.
That's cool. So guess John Oliver won an Emmy. Oh yeah. What am I seeing? When I'm cleaning windows. When I'm washing windows. Fuck. Okay, now I have to fucking listen to it because I'm stuck in my fucking head.
Now I go window cleaning to earn an honest bob. For a nosy Parker, it's an interesting job. Now it's a job that just suits me. A window cleaner you would be if you can see what I can see. When I'm cleaning windows, honeymooning couples too. You should see them billing too. You'd be surprised at things they do. When I'm cleaning windows, in my profession I'll work hard, but I'll never stop. I'll climb this blinking ladder till I get right to the top. The blushing bride, she looks divine. The bridegroom, he is doing fine. I'd rather have his job than mine. When I'm cleaning windows, there's a famous talkie queen. She looks a flapper on the screen. She's more like 80 than 18. When I'm cleaning windows, she pulls her hair all down behind, then pulls down her never mind, and after that pulls down the blind. When I'm cleaning windows, in my profession I'll work hard, but I'll never stop. I'll climb this blinking ladder till I get right to the top. Really? An old maid walks around the floor. She's so fed up one day I'm sure she'll drag me in and lock the door. When I'm cleaning windows,
That song's about a peeping Tom.
now I go cleaning windows to earn an honest bob. For a nosy Parker, it's an interesting job. Now it's a job that just suits me. A window cleaner you would be if you can see what I can see. When I'm cleaning windows, honeymooning couples too. You should see them billing too. You'd be surprised at things they do. When I'm cleaning windows, in my profession I'll work hard, but I'll never stop. I'll climb this blinking ladder till I get right to the top. The blushing bride, she looks divine. The bridegroom, he is doing fine. I'd rather have his job than mine. When I'm cleaning windows, the chambermaid, sweet names I call. It's a wonder I don't fall. My mind's not on my work at all. When I'm cleaning windows, I know a fella's such a swell. He has a thirst that's plain to tell. I've seen him drink his bath as well. When I'm cleaning windows, oh, in my profession, I'll work hard, but I'll never stop. I'll climb this blinking ladder till I get right to the top. Pajamas lying side by side, ladies' nighties I have spied. I've often seen what goes inside when I'm cleaning windows. this talky queen. She looks a flapper on the screen. She's more like 80 than 18. When I'm cleaning windows, she pulls her hair all down behind, then pulls down her never mind, and after that pulls down the blind. When I'm cleaning windows, in my profession, I'll work hard, but I'll never stop. I'll climb this blinking ladder.
Did you know that song is about a guy who's a peeping Tom?
Which one?
When I'm cleaning windows.
No, not that one.
Now I go cleaning windows to earn an honest bob. For a nosy pal, it's an interesting job. Now it's a job that just suits me. How the cleaner you would be if you can see what I can see. When I'm cleaning windows, honeymooning couples too. You should see them villain do. You'd be surprised at things they do. When I'm cleaning windows, in my profession, I'll work hard, but I'll never stop. I'll climb this blinking ladder till I get back to the top. The blushing bride, she looks divine. The bridegroom, he is doing fine. I'd rather have his job than mine. When I'm cleaning windows, the chambermaid, sweet names I call. It's a wonder I don't fall. My mind's not on my work at all. When I'm cleaning windows, I know a fella's such a swell. He has a purse that's plain to tell. I've seen him drink his bath as well. When I'm cleaning windows, oh, in my profession, I'll work hard, but I'll never stop. I'll climb this blinking ladder till I get back to the top. Pajamas lying side by side, ladies' nighties I have spied. I've often seen what goes inside when I'm cleaning windows.
Right? He's a fucking peeping Tom. Talking about fucking watching people fuck in hotel rooms and shit.
Yeah. So there's the one that's Backdoor Men.
Oh, that means in the butt. That was in the Josie and the Pussycats movie. The boy band in that movie. I'm your backdoor lover. Coming from behind when the lights go out. Backdoor lover. Let me meet you there at the secret spot. I'll show you a love that's more than hot. Yeah, that song's about fucking taking it in the booty.
Oh yeah, we've been there.
Me and Katie used to sing that song. We used to watch that movie like every fucking weekend.
And you only give me the booty when you're really trying to kiss ass.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
No, it's.
Girl, I know what you're all about.
Hey.
Try to fool me.
Was it a PlayStation 2? Oh, it was a PlayStation 2. No shit. Yeah, the iToy. Oh my god, that's the game. That's when Monkey Ball came out.
Hello guys, how's it going? I'm at your house. Welcome to a new Let's Play. For this time, guys, we are playing iToy on the
Oh look, it's Chris.
Still have to open this cam.
That game was so fun. It was before the Wii, kind of. That's when Monkey Ball came out, though.
Forgot what button is.
Oh, you're so boring. God, you literally sucked the life and soul out of everything happy.
Try the mirror.
my god. Okay, so this is where I learned this song. Yeah, you do that for the buttons.
Hey, it was the Peeping Toms song.
Yeah, this is where I learned it. That was a great game. I can see when I'm cleaning windows. In my profession, I've quit. No.
I'm sure people fucking want some toys.
Hey, you talking
all
about?
you gotta do is
He was talking about a girl that like was like 18, but because her boobs are so saggy, she looks 80.
oh, she has these teeny titties. It's just like one like
Oh wow, that's a fucking old game. This is not Monkey Ball. Why are you so slow today?
I don't know why it wouldn't. Whatever. I had nothing to lose, so it's fine. But
I'm so upset. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna kill my paddle.
I love that. But you remember that fucking viral video of the kid that fucking freaks out because mom took his game away and he shoves the fucking remote up his ass?
Yeah.
Fuck, I love that. It was fucking the best.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, it was for sure fake. I'm like, I don't give a shit. Fucking Stango. Like, that was amazing.
That one where, like, the second one was when he was in a tree.
Oh, I have no idea. I'm not gonna ruin it for myself.
Asked me for my address.
Oh.
Bananas harvested by the war criminals.
Oh my god.
Sort of a pumpkin smell filling the air in the room. But that's all right. What's going on? Oh, let's see. They smell like banana. It is. I think. Trying to see what is up with this game. Anime. People really like to talk about how Sega has mistreated Sonic by putting bad Sonic games out. And I'm a Sonic fan, and I've made that complaint before. It's totally valid. And
really?
Yeah, Sonic has had a tough couple of decades. There have definitely been more bad Sonic games than good ones, which is never really a position you want your flagship franchise to be in. But I would argue that there's another series that Sega has treated even more disrespectfully than Sonic, and that is the Super Monkey Ball franchise. I mean, let's just look at the numbers for a second. Depending on how you count them, there's been a grand total of about 18 games in the series, and you want to know how many of those games have actually been good? 4 of them. 4 out of 18 games. That is an abysmal ratio. And even more tragic is that out of those 18 games, the best 2 just happen to be the first 2. That's Super Monkey Ball and Super Monkey Ball 2 on the Nintendo GameCube.
Those were fucking
Honorable
awesome.
mention, and the third out of those 4 for me is Super Monkey Ball Deluxe, which barely counts. It's just a collection of all the Monkey Ball 1 and 2 games plus some bonus stages. And frankly, I think that's the one I've actually played the most. And then the 4th one for me is Monkey Ball Jr. That was a surprisingly good Game Boy Advance game. Everything after that, though, if you're asking me, has been basically bad. And the reason those first 2 Monkey Ball games were so good is because there's a very, like, arcadey purity to them. And there's a really clear reason for that. The very first Monkey Ball game was actually
So
a literal
fucking
arcade
hard.
game that was simply titled Monkey Ball. And it was basically just a simpler, shorter version of that first GameCube game, but with no mini games and a banana-shaped joystick. It is also the thing, the physical object that I most want to own someday.
Dude!
Titled Monkey Ball, and it was basically just a simpler, shorter version of that first GameCube game, but with no mini games and a banana-shaped joystick. It is also the thing, the physical object that I most want to own someday. I would love to own that cabinet at some point in my life. And the reason Monkey Ball 1 and Monkey Ball 2 are such great games is because they both feel like they were ripped straight out of an arcade, even though Monkey Ball 2 never even got an arcade release. They're straightforward and simple and fair, but they're also extremely punishing and have a super high skill ceiling. And I think where the Monkey Ball series went astray initially is that every game after those first two took steps that in some way corrupted or jeopardized that initial vision, whether it was adding different traits for characters or adding a jump button or even in later games throwing up guardrails around most of the early levels. It's just they compromised the
really
series
hard.
in a major way.
This game
I guess in the
so
aim of making it more
frustrating.
approachable, and it really lost the magic really quickly. Now, I'll note here that there are some staunch defenders of the Vita exclusive game Super Monkey Ball Banana Splits, but I actually haven't ever played that game, so I can't really speak firsthand to its quality. I just thought it was
Whole
worth mentioning
ass.
and put a big
That's my
asterisk on that
fucking
one.
tactic.
Now,
My
most
tactic
of the
is
sins
to
that
just
Sega has committed against
go.
Monkey Ball were in the past, but if you're
And
curious
you
about
have
the
to
current,
try
like,
to
modern
hope
state of
you're
the
gonna
franchise,
stop
it's insanely
in
grim.
time.
The last Monkey Ball game Sega put out was called Super Monkey Ball Bounce, and it was literally a crappy Peggle clone for iOS and Android. Like, that is what the franchise has been reduced to. Bad, free-to-play clones of other people's games. And that was back in 2014, so they actually took the game off sale. You can't get it anymore. Sometime around 2016, presumably out of just shame and guilt for putting something so awful and taking Monkey Ball's name in vain in that way. And that was the last we heard from the franchise. There've been a few weird Monkey Ball cameos here and there, and like racing games and some iOS RPG. But that's been pretty much it. The franchise has been radio silent for the past 5 years. So fast forward to today, it is currently 2019, which means that the Monkey Ball series is turning 18 years old next month. And the heartbreaking fact of the matter is this: the Monkey Ball series has been pretty bad for almost its entire run. And I say that as someone for whom Monkey Ball is like in my top 3 favorite game franchises. No exaggeration. Maybe my number 1 game franchise ever. It is like the thing that I constantly come back to. And that's why it's so sad that this franchise only got to spend 1 year, or I guess technically like 14 months of its 18-year lifespan actually being great, before spending the following 17 years being various degrees of crappy. And if you ask me, Sega's track record with this franchise is negligent, bordering on criminal. Like, I am of the mindset, and have been for some time, that the Super Monkey Ball franchise should just be removed from Sega and taken into protective custody. They've had their chance. They clearly super duper don't care.
This was another fantastic game. You're a glove.
You're a glove.
No, literally, you're a glove and a ball.
You're a glove.
It's amazing. It's a fucking amazing game. So the ball changes. You can change into a little metal ball. You can change into a bowling ball. Anyway, there's a bunch of different types of balls that you change into so that you can. It's like a puzzle game. You would actually love this game.
It uses the same engine as Mario and Banjo-Kazooie.
Yeah. Yes, sir. This game was so underrated because the storyline is so fucking. It's like very convert-y kind of, very eerie and. Oh yeah, you point to find your ball. And you press Z to point. Oh, just forever to walk.
Yeah, you're going like this.
Yeah, because he fucking just he jumps. You just jump like over and over and over. It takes so fucking long though. Honestly, I don't mind it because the gameplay is that good. Oh yeah, you can just go off the side. I have no idea what those things are. There's a level in it that's like this weird circus, like, but it also kind of looks like those, you know, those tents for exterminating. Basically those colors, but it's like all circus themed.
He's like,
oh yeah, you bounce it. Oh, the bulls are so scary. And it's just a metal ball, it'll sink. Any of these other heavy ones. Cool. Yeah. And then there's like buttons, so you need the bowling ball. It's really, really, really great game, honestly. 3 hours. Ah, it's the one! Bowling ball, great shit. Slap it. Oh, and then you can toss it. It's so hard, this game, because you have to go slow. Everything feels like it's so slow. Yeah. So yeah, he burps. So you can stop in like midair at a point to toss. You're gonna have to bounce it to get on that platform. Super hard. Or you could toss it up there. Oh, cheater. Oh, what a chicken shit. Farts. Forgot about that. That was awesome. Oh god. I guess I never really got too far in the game. Holy shit, 50 plus. Oh my god. Oh jeez. Oh,
This is
cool.
like an entire playthrough completed.
That's in 3 hours? 3 hours and 16 minutes.
All you have to do is go.
They're cheap, honestly, that version. Or, I mean, it's a for N64.
Yeah.
And they're, like, super cheap. Okay, I want to read this thing. Local purchasing and food autonomy left or right. France a while ago seems to have a new hobby horse, to say the least unusual. During his daily press conferences, he spoke on several occasions of wanting to strengthen Quebec's food autonomy. That's why I can't get tequila. And the only one you can get is the one that's made in Quebec. In particular, by encouraging local purchasing. This issue, until now reserved for few obscure environmentalists and leftist farmers, has thus found a strong supporter. What to think of it? Craze for local buying. We'll have to be autonomous in the field of food products, supported Legault, who has also affirmed to expect a certain deglobalization after the pandemic. There are sectors where one goes. What? There are sectors where one goes have some say deglobalization, so less imports means more local production. That doesn't make sense. That's not how that fucking works. So less imports means more local production? Don't you understand how things grow? You don't come here for oranges. Go to Florida for oranges. For a reason. God fucking idiot. Agriculture ensuring that we have quality products made here is important. To support these local buying efforts, he launched Le Panier Bleu website, which serves as a directory of Quebec businesses to enable person to support their business. The Journal de Montreal reports a craze for local buying in these times of pandemic. The Blue Basket website quickly crashed due to too much traffic. Quebec Solidaire also jumped on the food autonomy train. By proposing a food independence plan with Gabriel Nadeau-Dubois called a national war effort to become masters in our country in agriculture. Oh, Jesus H. Solidaire, blah, blah, blah. At the origin of the plan explained, with COVID-19 crisis, there is a lot of insecurity that is setting the population. In winter, spring, approximately 40% of the food consumed in Quebec comes from or passes through the United States. Okay. So you guys are even more down to get it from the States than just anywhere else in Canada that is in Quebec. That's your only problem. From globalism, we will have to move on to localism. Promote short circuits and local purchasing, demonstrate economic patriotism. Stop imagining that the planet is a village and submission to the markets an ideal. No, it's not Manon Messi, but what I don't know what that means. The guru of identity nationalists who wrote that suddenly with crisis triggered by COVID-19, the right and left found themselves all I fucking hear is her fucking talking.
Oh. I don't hear shit.
No, I just want to make sure to go to the page or anything.
Temporary loss of vision? Who said that? Come closer. Yes, dear? Maybe, one more day. Maybe don't have too much. I think you may be on the menu. Is there anything else I can get you? Perhaps the TV? Of course. No. Bring the television up. Mark's got his vision back. Oh. Everyone knows he's making it right. Everyone's gonna
However, it is not even clear what exactly constitutes local production. According to Andre Michaud of Agro Quebec, a business development and strategic positioning company, the model of agriculture in Quebec is based on the availability of foreign labor.
Yes, that's what I've been saying this entire time. If we lose China, we do not. I don't think we understand what.
And not only that,
productivity is.
He also wants to
really
ban anyone who's like wearing something that represents that they're foreign. Like people that practice their religion that come from that they're foreigners wear religious symbols. You consider a burqa, a hijab, all these things you guys consider religious symbols. And they're all going to be government workers. So you're kicking them out, but like, or no, you want them to come here and fucking do work, but like and grow shit, but they can't wear their shit.
They can't worship their own gods.
What the fuck is wrong with this place? Like, what is honestly like? These people are so backwards. Like,
Can't trust the Europeans.
no, you no, but like, is this really a European thing? Like, this is retarded.
Well, have you noticed that most people in the old world are very arrogant?
I just don't understand.
So just imagine someone like that can bring out like themselves like that in such a way was a bad person.
Look
Like,
at the
can
bad
you
guy,
imagine
man.
the things that they could do?
He's literally trying to kick out everyone who isn't. It's like, I feel like at one point they did have hope that everyone wouldn't move to Toronto, but everybody moved to Toronto. And now Toronto is like basically the representation of Canada. Like, it should have been Montreal. Like, it should have been Quebec, but Quebec fucking ruined it. Like, with their fucking racist bullshit. So now they're just gonna be like, okay, well, everybody else get the fuck out too. Like, apparently, the Green Party came in third,
Over the NDP?
or no, I think it was the PC, the Parti or PQ, Parti Québécois, came third, and then the NDP. I was just like, oh really? Did they? Did they really though?
Yeah.
Cause no, they fucking didn't. We all know they fucking didn't. This is retarded. But like that's like you can't even say it though, because if you say it, it's like, oh, what are you, a fucking forever Trumper? Like, fucking, oh, the election was rigged. But like, there's no fucking way. And
It's
then
gonna be sad when they finally kill my people out.
dude, no, I think your people are eventually gonna take over shit because you guys know how to last longer. We're gonna fucking blow shit. Like, we're gonna blow ourselves up.
Yeah, you're gonna blow up us up along with you.
Well, we haven't taken you guys out yet. So, like, hopefully you guys can make it longer than before we destroy ourselves. Like,
We don't have tanks.
I don't think you guys need tanks.
We don't have anything besides personal.
We're literally
weapons.
drugging ourselves to death. Because we
What are
all
we gonna
can't deal with
do
our
against a
brains.
fucking
Like,
missile? Nothing.
yeah, but no one's shooting missiles right now.
What are we gonna do against a fucking plane? Nothing.
You know what? I
A
agree.
helicopter? Maybe.
I agree with what that guy said about, like, we're gonna be our own destruction. It's not gonna be like a bomb or global warming or anything like that, because the planet always heals itself. If anything that's gonna make another extinction, it's gonna be our own brains and our own mental collapse. where we just like fucking go back to primitive fucking cannibalistic psychotic cavemen. Neanderthals. You monsters!
I mean,
And then he kissed me. Oh yeah, oh yeah. And then he kissed me. Randy, I cannot quit you. Sorry.
Randy. Cannot quit.
Don't post that. God damn it. Sharon, where's the Columbus salt and pepper shakers? I don't know. You know, you're just as into Columbus as I was. Actually, I was kind of pissed that you dressed up like Columbus for our wedding day.
Oh,
I laugh. I think it's funny.
there's more here too. And there's another one in there, so you have one extra for whatever.
Cool, think cool.
You're welcome.
Our local food actually depends on Mexican and Guatemalan workers with little pay and legal protection who are brought in by plane for a season. Not just fucking Mexican and Guatemalan. No. African. Fucking, what was the other one? Oh.
You know, I never understood why people always say, "Oh, you're lucky to be living in Canada. Or you're lucky to be living here, in America or Canada."
Well, you used to be able to voice your opinion. Like, people weren't Christians, especially. Like that wouldn't treat their kids
this sip
cancer.
of water is like I'm taking for granted.
Yeah, actually. We take a lot, like, the fact that we drink bottled water, I hate that we drink bottled water. I've never in my life drank bottled water. Like, I do it for, like, if we go to the beach for beach day. Of course, I'll drink a bottle of water, but, like, on the regular, like, but it's also disgusting the fact that there are places in a first world country where there's people who have millions and billions of dollars, yet there are places that don't have fucking water. That it won't make them sick. Like,
Because they expected us to do it, but they
they
all
wanted
our
to bring their
resources.
own people to do the fucking setup. And that's not how things fucking work. We lost that fucking. You get the benefit of the doubt, but when you fuck up, you don't get the benefit of the doubt anymore. And you don't keep getting to use that card over and over and over again. And it's like, that's how Trudeau got elected. And it sucks that, once again, wrong. Like, fuck up after fuck up. Bullshit. Like, I get why, like, your dad was kind of venting last weekend. Like, I can imagine it must have, like, moments where it must be hard to even sitting with me being like fucking white people. Like I don't understand it really, but I can imagine after so many white people just fucking doing bad shit to you over and over and over and over, giving the benefit of the doubt that somebody's not gonna fuck you over and they genuinely want to help you, but then when there's a disagreement, they're just like, well, fuck you then. Like, and it's not just like a fucking like, oh shit, like, well, we thought, like, no, it was like fuck up after fuck up. It's just like never ending. So I get why your dad fucking would not want to
run. Wow, those not words.
run.
You young ragamuffin.
Ragamuffin. I love that word. Oh, Indian. That was the other one.
You suck at that.
What?
Like, you just like pretty much every time you dipped it, you were only getting one fry at a time, and you just like went around everywhere just to like get.
Because
all
I'm
your
reading.
fries
I'm not
covered.
looking.
But you dipped every fry. How do you do that? You're not looking?
Skill.
Like bullshit.
Skill.
You just like and then that was it.
They derive rights inherent and inalienable. Hey, look, everybody, it's snowing in the middle of the night. It's a miracle. Oh, I wonder if it's only fun or slow.
Jesus Christ. Man, you guys are fucking dumb.
Well, all right. Let me get full credit. Well, Bart is the 59 has another rep. I know. Another year together.
So stupid.
What's the matter? I would think you'd be used to feeling like that.
No, you don't understand. I really tried this time. I really tried.
Here, dear.
As good as I can do, and I still failed.
Well, 59, it's a high act.
So am I kidding? I really am a failure. Oh, no.
You're right. That is what you've been saying. It's fucking stupid that they even have to go through all this. Processed food products from Quebec contain only 60% of Quebec's content.
1754.
What?
That's what he said. They defeated the French.
I have no idea.
1754. That's how long these cocksuckers have been here, and they've been here longer than that. Think about that. It's like over 300 years.
It's 300 years of fuck ups. That's a long time. That's not that low. The local government is a government of companies. He represents Quebec capitalists and fights for their interests. In an initiative like the Blue Basket, it is just a marketing campaign for the benefit of private companies financed by public funds. No wonder that the CEO of the Federation of Quebec Chamber of Commerce, another representative of the Quebec bourgeoisie,
Bougie.
bourgeoisie.
Bourgeoisie. It's a bourgeoisie.
Bourgeoisie?
Oh.
Bourgeois.
Bourgeois.
Bougie.
Bougie bitches.
Bougie bitches. Support Legault's effort. Rich white men Doesn't matter what language they speak, Cam. Rich white men. Sorry. Moreover,
Or oil princes from Saudi Arabia.
that's true. Yeah, but they fucking stay on their fucking side of the planet, like, and they fuck up their own shit over there. I fuck over other people's countries and
The
fuck
world
shit up.
hasn't changed. We just kill each other more efficiently now.
That's funny. I like that. That could be a song.
Well, they were complaining about a food shortage a long time ago. I guess this would be about the time that they would do something crazy like that.
Mm.
I wouldn't be surprised if like everyone who's got the vaccine is
Okay.
gonna start dying.
One only has to look at the people at the head of the blue basket to understand that there's nothing progressive about it. In particular, Alexandre Tellifer, the businessman who led the PLQ, fucking piece of shit, electoral campaign in 2018, and Sylvain Prudhomme, not Prude. Interviewed by La Presse, Marie Chantal Houden, the co-founder of Fromagerie Nouvelle France in History, explains her vision of food autonomy. According to La Presse, she firmly believes that a certain form of food autonomy begins with first stopping imports of foodstuffs already produced in Quebec, such as cheese.
However, I must assure you that any hair growth you experience while using it will be purely coincidental. That's it. Flex. Of all the rip off, screw job, chip joint, forget you, pal. Thanks for helping. So I say, forget you, pal. Thanks for nothing. And start right out of there.
Shut up. When Legault invites people to buy locally, it is therefore out of pure economic nationalism, because this favors his Quebec capitalist friends to the detriment of their Canadian, American, Chinese, etc. competitors. In fact, Legault's buy local is like Trump's Make America Great Again, but with a stash. That's great.